Have I found the best two-person tent that is out there today? I'm putting two popular tents head-to-head against each other, the Big Agnes Tigerwall UL2 and the Big Agnes Copper Spur HV UL2, to try to answer that question. And you might be shocked by the results. I'm Ethan with Pack Travel Hike. Let's get into it. Both the Big Agnes Tigerwall UL2 and the Big Agnes Copper Spur HV UL2 are ultralight tents that boast roomy interiors while still maintaining a relatively light pack weight. More on that later. I'm going to be breaking this video down into 4 sections: cost, packability, livability, irritability. I'm kidding, that's not one of them. And then I'm going to wrap it all nicely up with a bow at the end with the pros and cons of each. I think starting off with the cost of the tents will give you the ability to weigh whether or not certain features are worth it. This is not a sponsored video, and I bought both the tents with my own money. So the Tigerwall UL2 retails for $400, and that does not include a footprint. A footprint is a lightweight ground cover that goes underneath your tent that gives it some extra protection against small rocks and twigs, things of that nature. They are usually made of ripstop nylon and heavily overpriced. How overpriced? Well, the one that's made by Big Agnes for the Tigerwall UL2 retails at $70. Now you can make your own cheaper ones, but I'll tell you why later in this video, why I recommend going with the one that's made by the official company. Now ironically enough, in this video, I'm using a footprint from another tent, but don't do this. In fact, a footprint should never be bigger than the tent floor itself, and that's because water can seep underneath your tent while you're sleeping. It's a bad situation. Okay, back to the topic at hand. So all in, you're looking at $470 plus tax, and that's the cheaper one. The Copper Spur HV UL2 retails at $500, and the footprint made by the company is $80. So that's $580, a difference of $110 plus tax. What can you buy as a result of saving $110? A family pack of brass knuckles, this toaster that makes only hot dogs, a dog's head in a fence, this drawing that I just drew. And you may be asking yourself, why are these tents so much more expensive than the ones that I see at Walmart? That's because you're paying a premium for them being lightweight. If you're going to put the tent and all your stuff on your back and carry it in a backpack for multi-day excursions or through hikes, being lightweight's very important. But if you're just going to put the tent in the trunk of your car, drive it to the campsite, and unload your stuff, and that's all you're going to do, well then maybe being lightweight's not so important, and you might want to go with something that's a little bit heavier and cheaper. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see a video in the future explaining the different types of tents that are out there and maybe how to choose the best one for you. All right, on to livability. Both tents have UL2 in the name, which stands for ultralight two-person. But in reality, in my experience, two-person tents are more of a glorified one-person tent. Because if either person of the two sleeping in the tent is larger in stature, has broader shoulders, it's going to be snug. Doable, but snug. You might want to look into a three-person tent, which is going to be a bit more expensive and a bit more fabric and weight, but more room if you are looking to actually have two people be very comfortable in a tent. The Tigerwall UL2 is a semi-freestanding tent, which means it has a pole structure with 2 poles at the head of the tent, 1 at the foot of the tent, and then 2 corners that must be staked out with guy lines to maximize the area in the tent. If you didn't stake out those corners, it would look like this. There is a reinforcement layer at the stakeout corners for some extra stability. There are a few downsides to semi-freestanding tents. You do have to stake out those corners to really be able to sleep in the tent, and you might find yourself in situations where you just don't have enough room at the campsite to stake those corners out. For instance, if you find yourself camping on volcanic soil, rocks, you won't be able to get the stakes into the ground, and that's not a good thing. Another downside is it's very difficult to get the tent floor taut, but on the plus side, you do save some weight by not having the extra poles that a freestanding tent would have. While the Tigerwall UL2 does come with guy lines, it's worth noting that they're not adjustable. So if you find yourself getting to a campsite, fitting your tent into a small area, and needing some longer guy lines to stretch over obstacles in order to secure your tent, you're going to find that they're not long enough. And so for that reason, I would replace the ones that come with the Tigerwall UL2 immediately, right when you get it, with some longer ones in case you find yourself in that situation. It's better to be covered. It's worth noting that both of these tents are quick and easy to set up. Just lay down the footprint if you're using one, stake out the corners of both the footprint and tent, assemble the pole structure, and put on the rain fly. The difference between a semi-freestanding tent and a freestanding tent is the word semi. Also, a freestanding tent has poles that'll lock into all of the corners of the tent, So you still need to stake down all the corners so your tent doesn't blow away, but you don't have to stake out the corners to maximize the interior like a semi-freestanding tent. Another benefit of a freestanding tent is if it's raining outside, you can set up the footprint and the rainfly prior to setting up the interior of the tent. So that way you can stay dry while you build the interior of the tent. Just clip the tent to the poles as you build it, climb inside, and in theory, you're dry. The Tigerwall UL2 measures 86 inches long. It's 52 inches across at the head of the tent and tapers down to 42 inches at the feet. It's 39 inches at its tallest, which is at the head of the tent, and slopes downwards towards your feet. According to this photo on Big Agnes's website, you can steal a dog, put him at the foot of your tent, and still have enough room to lift your fist up in victory for getting away with it. However, I didn't find this to be true. I'm 5'11", and as you can see here, when lying down, a dog is not fitting at the foot of the tent unless you sleep diagonally and don't have a mattress pad. Throw in a wide mattress pad that measures 25 by 78, and this is the space you're left with. I can confirm, however, that you can pump your fist up in victory, as I can extend my arm all the way up while lying down without touching the top of either the Tigerwall or the Copper Spur. There is enough room to sit up in both tents, but again, if you have two people in it, it's going to be a little bit cramped, especially if you had to wait out a rainstorm or something like that. The Copper Spur measures 88 inches long and measures the same across as the Tigerwall. 52 inches across at the head of the tent, and tapers down to 42 inches at the feet. The ceiling has a dome structure providing more livable space inside, and it feels that way. According to this photo on Big Agnes's website, the tent should accommodate you stealing a dog, putting him at the foot of your tent, putting your fist up in victory for getting away with it, and having an extra inch of room to maybe put up whatever finger you want. Your choice. So the Copper Spur is 2 inches longer, 1 inch taller, and has a dome top. Perfect if you have a 2-inch dog. But the pole structure of the Copper Spur makes it feel bigger. The Tigerwall has a cross beam that measures 32.5 inches, while the Copper Spur has a cross beam that measures 41.5 inches. And that 9-inch difference is the difference between taut vertical walls in the Copper Spur and saggy floppy walls in the Tigerwall. You really notice the difference. The Copper Spur is and feels much bigger. Storage-wise, both tents have a large storage pocket above towards the foot of the tent, as well as at the head of the tent, with pass-through capabilities for cables. There are numerous loops on the ceiling for hanging things, so overall, both tents have ample storage for clothing, headlamps, whatever. The Tigerwall has additional pockets in each corner at the head of the tent, perfect for quickly grabbing frequently used items such as your cell phone or headlamp, or dog treats for that 2-inch dog that's sleeping at your feet. Both tents have two sizable vestibules to store your pack and dirty shoes. The Tigerwall vestibules are 26 inches on each side, and the Copper Spur's vestibules are a bit larger at 28 inches each. The Copper Spur also has the ability to extend one half of the vestibule out to form an awning with the aid of 2 trekking poles. And while I liked this idea at first, I will say that if there's any type of wind, it's very difficult to set up. And on this day, there was. I could also foresee a situation where water could pool or run off at the entrance of the tent when it's raining, but I didn't have the ability to test it in such conditions. Maybe with a little bit of patience, you'll have better luck. I certainly welcome the idea as it's an added feature. I just am not sure how often I would take advantage of it. One cool feature of the Copper Spur is it has one vent located at the top of the tent above the head, providing an escape for warm, moist air from your breath, thus reducing condensation. Moist. With the Tigerwall, your only option is unzipping the top of the vestibule. Both tents have 2 great big doors that can be opened and closed using 2 zippers on each. They also both have a tab next to each side of the tent where you can quickly secure the pulled back door. Great feature. Let's move on to packability. The Copper Spur's packed weight is 3 pounds 2 ounces, with the Tigerwall coming in a little bit lighter at 2 pounds 8 ounces. These tents kind of live in this weird category. There are certainly tents that are lighter as well as tents that pack down smaller. These kind of live in that middle area. The Copper Spur, when packed, measures 19.5 inches by 6 inches, and the Tigerwall packs slightly smaller at 18 inches by 5.5 inches. That's because the length of the tent poles in the Tigerwall when collapsed are shorter. If you were to remove those tent poles and carry them separately from the tent, you could get these packs down a bit smaller. You could use that extra room to pack a shrunken head. Here are all the specs and sizing for both tents. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time to compare. These tents are made of a lightweight material that require a little bit more care than a heavier tent. If you want your tent to last longer, it's worth investing in a footprint. Not only will it protect the bottom of your tent, it's also going to provide an extra layer of protection against water seeping into your tent while keeping you a bit insulated as well. You also have the option of setting up the copper spur with just the rainfly and the footprint for a little bit more minimalistic experience. And I mentioned earlier that I always recommend getting the footprint that's made by the official company, and that's because the holes that the poles fit into line up perfectly. It's made that way. I find that's very convenient. And if you have the tent for 5 to 10 years, if you take that high price tag, divide it by the amount of years that you have it for, it's a little bit more palatable. Okay, let's go over the pros and cons of these tents, in my opinion. Both tents are relatively lightweight, with the Tiger Wall coming in a bit lighter. Both tents are also very well designed with great features. Ample storage, 2 doors, and roomy vestibules. The Tiger Wall is cheaper, while the copper spur is roomier. The copper spur has a vent, while the Tiger Wall does not. The copper spur is freestanding with vertical walls, whereas the semi-freestanding nature of the Tiger Wall results in saggy walls. The copper spur has an awning should you choose to utilize it. Both tents have had some complaints with the zipper getting snagged on the door, especially when the door is wet. The Tiger Wall comes in one color, and it's bright. Not only does it completely stand out amongst trees, but it actually makes the interior quite bright, even if you don't want that. The copper spur comes in 2 colors, orange and olive green, both of which I find look good. While both tents come with lightweight tent stakes, neither tent comes with a footprint. Let me know in the comments below which tent you like better, or if there's another tent you prefer, I'd love to hear that as well. Let's talk about who these tents are for. In my opinion, these tents are for one person that's looking to cut weight, have a little bit of a roomy camping experience, and for this price point, both tents are great. There are other options out there that are lighter, but they tend to be more expensive, and some of them don't even have tent poles. They require pitching the tent with trekking poles. The Tiger Wall has a 1-person and 3-person tent available as well, should you want to go smaller or bigger, and the copper spur has a 1-person, 3-person, 4-person, and 5-person tent, should you want to camp with your 50 dogs. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. Don't forget to hit that bell notification to get notified every time I post a new video. As a new channel, this goes a long way in helping out, and I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.